Hi Sagittarius, welcome to your love reading for the year 2020. This deck is going to represent the beginning of 2020. This deck is going to represent the middle of 2020, and this deck is going to represent the end of 2020. Remember, this is a general reading. I am offering a 1.5 hour love reading. There is a link down below to my website, channeledguidance.com. Let's go ahead and begin. Okay, Sagittarius, let's go ahead and see what is going on for you at the beginning of 2020. You have the Four of Cups. The Knight of Pentacles. The Star. Nine of Swords. Eight of Pentacles. Ace of Swords. Ten of Swords. The Hermit. And Death. Okay, so again, this is the beginning of 2020. I'm kind of approaching the yearly readings in a slightly different angle because this is not a monthly reading. This is a reading for the entire year, and this is a spread for the beginning of 2020. So it really does seem, I'm just kind of looking over the spread here, it really does seem like the beginning of 2020 for the sign of Sagittarius is about kind of setting yourself on a new path. I'm just going to start here with the Hermit. The Hermit does mean that you have a lot of thinking to do. I feel like the sign of Sagittarius, like 2019 may not have been a very easy time for you. I feel like you're coming into the year with a lot of questions. There's a lot of stress here with the Nine of Swords. The Hermit is saying this is a time for you to be soul searching for the truth. What do you really want from a relationship? Are you with the right person? I feel like there's going to be a lot of soul searching, reflecting at the beginning of the year for the sign of Sagittarius. This is all about you having clarity. You have the Ace of Swords here. I feel like you're trying to figure out the truth at the beginning of the year. This is exactly what you should be doing. Again, are you with the right person? Is it time for you to be maybe meeting somebody new for those of you who are single? This is about truth and clarity and really looking at things, maybe looking at love and relationships or your marriage in an entirely different light. Because the beginning of the year, you do have Death here. So with the Death card, you could be dealing with a Scorpio, but more than likely, this card is telling you at the beginning of the year, you're kind of setting the ball in motion. This is a card of a huge transformation in your love life, a big breakthrough. This is all about the Star energy. The Star card does represent you getting exactly what you want. This is a card of hopes and wishes manifesting. Very magical energy. You could also be dealing with the sign of Aquarius. Again, your hopes and wishes could manifest at the beginning of 2020. But you do need to know what you want. There's a lot of thinking and soul searching with the Hermit here. There's also the need for truth and clarity. Because again, some of you maybe are coming into the month kind of feeling, well, the year, unhappy with the Four of Cups. This is the energy of feeling bored. You feel like something's missing in your life, or you feel like something's missing in your marriage, in your relationship. There's been, kind of slow movement here, slow progress. But again, the beginning of the year is kind of offering you exactly what you have been hoping for, exactly what you have been wishing for, with the Star card being here. Now, there is a lot of work and effort that needs to be put in at the beginning of the year. The Eight of Pentacles, work and effort to set things right, to see the truth of what's really going on in your relationship, what's really going on in your love life. Because I do see a lot of stress here with the Nine of Swords. This does mean that you've been doing a lot of worrying over a relationship, over marriage, over a specific person. Again, there is a lot of work and effort for you to really see with the Ace of Swords what's really going on in this relationship. How does this person really feel about you? How do you feel about them? You have the Ten of Swords here. So for some of you, it could be that you have been through a really painful time. The Ten of Swords does mean maybe you've been hurt, you've been betrayed. The Ten of Swords can be that some of you are kind of ready to move on from a relationship. You do have this next to the Hermit. There's a lot of soul searching here, like, should I move on? Should I stay? Hard to say in a general reading. The Ten of Swords can literally mean that somebody's moving on from a relationship, but it could easily be that you've been through the worst. This card is, it's a message you've been through the worst, and it's safe for you to move on. It's safe for you to let somebody back in. Again, the beginning of the year is a huge change for you. For those who are single, the fact that you have death here and the star, I feel like, this could be someone who comes into your life that changes your life forever. This could be the person you're going to marry, the person you're going to spend the rest of your life with. Seeing the star card and death. Okay, let's get a few more and let's see what the rest of the message is. You have 5 of Swords, the Devil, and 3 of Swords. So, I mean, this is a pretty crystal clear message here. The 5 of Swords and the Devil. I always say the 5 of Swords is the same energy as the Devil, and they're both here lined up together. So I feel, you have a lot of kind of magical energy here for the beginning of the year. How you approach it, that's going to be completely up to you. Because remember, this is a general reading. I do feel like, not in general, you have the 5 of Swords. You have to be careful how you're approaching things. What decisions you're making at the beginning of the year. Because either the beginning of the year, you're going to get the ball rolling and your hopes and wishes are manifesting. There's going to be huge transformation coming in for you with the Death card. Or you're going to make a very unwise decision. You have to be careful around decisions. Maybe you have to be careful not to keep dwelling on a very painful situation. It's time to move on. You had the 10 of Swords. It's time to move on from betrayal. If you're going to forgive someone, forgive them and move on. The 5 of Swords is negative energy, just like the Devil. A very unwise decision. And it could be that maybe, because you have the Devil here, to me this also just represents negative thinking. You're in a dark place. So again, you have to be careful, because you also have the 9 of Swords right here, which is a lot of worry, a lot of anxiety. Again, this is going to be completely up to you and the work that you're doing. You have the 8 of Pentacles right in the center of the reading. You have a lot of thinking to do, a lot of soul searching. You do not want to end up here. The 3 of Swords, a card of heartache. This could also be a breakup, a divorce, a separation. Again, it just seems like for the sign of Sagittarius, the beginning of the year, it's like it's wide open. It's wide open for you. You can really get the ball rolling as far as new beginnings, hopes and wishes manifesting. I'm starting to look at your relationship and your marriage, or maybe just your love life in a general, kind of, looking at things from a different perspective with the Ace of Swords. Or you can keep going down the same road, maybe kind of making unwise decisions, kind of staying in a pessimistic place. If you do that, this is going to lead to heartache. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the middle of the year. Okay, Sagittarius, let's go ahead and see what is coming up for you for the middle of 2020. Page of Pentacles. Page of Swords. Seven of Wands. The Sun. Knight of Pentacles. Judgment. The Empress. Knight of Cups. And the 8 of Pentacles. So you do have a few repeat cards from the middle of the year. Sorry, the beginning. The Knight of Pentacles and the 8 of Pentacles just came up for you at the beginning of 2020. I feel like the middle of, just kind of looking at the spread, the middle of 2020 is a really good time for finding a new partner. You've got the Empress here. Let's start right here. The Empress can represent the sign of Aries. But the Empress, this is even better than the Lover's card. This is the perfect partner for you. The perfect relationship. This is the person that you feel is just everything you've been hoping for, everything you've been looking for. You just had the Star card in the last spread. So for those of you who are single, the fact that you have the Empress lined up with the Sun, the most positive card in the entire deck, this could be, a magical time as far as finding your life partner. For those who are already coupled, there is a lot of happiness here. You have the Sun. This is positive energy. You just had the Devil at the beginning of the year. So it's like you have to be careful as far as where your perspective is at the beginning of the year. You could be coming into the year just kind of maybe, again, you've been through something painful in 2019. You could be coming in pessimistic. There is a lot of positive energy in the middle of the year. This is happiness. This is love. This is success. This also represents marriage and children. So that energy is there for those of you where you're coupled. I mean, you have judgment, which is a second chance, a new beginning. This is a sign of Sagittarius rising from the ashes in the middle of the year. You have this here available to you for the middle of the year. There's still work to do. You have the Eight of Pentacles. There's still work to do, maybe as far as building up a relationship. Maybe you're meeting somebody new. You have to build up this relationship to see its true potential, or maybe you're working on an existing relationship. You have slow progress here with the Knight of Pentacles. There is slow movement, but I do see you being in a very positive place in the middle of the year. Again, for those of you where you want to reconnect, maybe with an ex, or you want to start over in a marriage where there's been a lot of difficult energy, Judgment is a new beginning, a second chance. You also have the Knight of Cups down here. Again, for those who are single, this can be somebody coming in, somebody sweeping you off your feet, but this is also your love life moving in a very positive direction. Now, in the first row here, let's look at the first row because I have not gone over this. You have two pages right next to each other. Page of Pentacles, Page of Swords. The pages do represent communication. So for some of you, you could be hearing something very significant about your relationship from your partner. For some of you, perhaps you're defending yourself. You have the Seven of Wands here, which does represent confrontational energy. Perhaps there needs to be a confrontation for the sign of Sagittarius to have this, happiness, love, positive energy. It's all lined up for you here, the perfect relationship. But for some reason, I see the sign of Sagittarius perhaps needing to be firm with their partner. Really, speaking up for yourself. This is fiery confrontational energy, and it is around communication. You have the Page of Swords here, which means somebody really needs to speak their truth. So I feel like there could definitely be a confrontation with a partner in the middle of the year, where I feel like this is good because you have the two pages, communication, the Seven of Wands, which is you really speaking up for yourself, standing your ground. After the Seven of Wands was the Sun, positive energy, success, happiness. There is a second chance for you here, a new beginning for you and for your relationship, but it is connected to communication. You're being told here by the Page of Pentacles, in the middle of the year, look at everything very carefully. Make sure that this is who you want to be with. For those of you you're already coupled, maybe there's somebody new coming in. This is saying do your homework. Look at this person, your feelings for them, their feelings for you. Really look at this very carefully. But I do see communication tied to happiness, love, and positive energy, and some type of new beginning or second chance here. Okay, let's get a few more so we can get some more messages to see what this is about. What other messages are there for the sign of Sagittarius for the middle of 2020? Seven of Cups, the Strength card, and the Lovers. So, this is amazing. The fact that you have the Empress and the Lovers card in the same spread for the middle of the year. For those of you where you're single, you definitely don't want to waste this opportunity because this is gold. This is kind of strong soulmate, twin flame relationship material. Excuse me. This is telling you that you could find, the person you're going to spend the rest of your life with. The Empress and the Lovers together. This is an eye-opener. For those of you where you're already coupled, I feel like this is telling you that the middle of the year could be your time where everything falls into place. I'm literally putting the Lovers right over Judgment, which is a second chance for you. Your relationship rising from the ashes. You do have to be brave. You have the Strength card here. You have to watch that you don't get too angry, too frustrated, too impatient with a situation because there is confusion here. You've got the Seven of Cups. There's a lot of confusion in the middle of the year. There's a lot of positive energy. There's a lot of happiness that's waiting for you. I feel like somebody is either meeting their life partner or you're, a relationship that was troubled or marriage. Like things are really coming together with the Empress and the Lovers, but you're being told stay strong because there could be a lack of clarity here. I feel like the key to kind of avoiding this is what we're seeing in the first row. Communication, Page of Pentacles, Page of Swords. Communication has to be clear. You have to really speak your truth. You have to really confront your partner, especially if they're treating you unfairly. Or some of you could be dealing with the sign of Leo, with the Strength card. You could also be dealing with the sign of Gemini with the Lovers. But again, the Lovers is also just represents a relationship that you really want to hold on to. This is someone that you feel is the one. The Lovers can also represent a decision that you're making, maybe a decision between two people, especially with something like the Seven of Cups here, because the Seven of Cups can be that someone is confused. I'm confused over choices. There's a lack of clarity as far as maybe who I want to be with. I mean, that won't apply to everyone, but the Seven of Cups is, somebody who is highly lost, just very lost over choices they're going to make. And the Lovers can be that same energy. But for most of you, there's just a confusion as far as like, we're not in the same place. We're not understanding each other. But you do have this energy of like a new beginning, a second chance for your existing relationship. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the end of the year. Okay, Sagittarius, let's go ahead and see what is coming up for you for the end of 2020. You have the Seven of Pentacles. Justice. Six of Pentacles. Four of Wands. Seven of Wands, which you just had in the middle of the year. It's back at the end of the year. Eight of Swords. Ten of Swords. The Sun. So again, this is a repeat card. You just had this in the middle of the year and it is back. You also have, let's see here, the Six of Wands. Okay, so let's see what you have going on here. You still have this issue kind of right in the center of the reading, Seven of Wands. So again, some of you could be really kind of speaking your truth. You just had the Page of Swords in the middle of the year. Towards the end of the year, I still see you really kind of fighting for your relationship, for your marriage. You have a marriage card right here, the Four of Wands. If it's not a marriage, it is a relationship maybe you want it to be a marriage. It's a card of commitment and a relationship that is strong. I see you really kind of fighting for this relationship, really speaking up for yourself, because there is fear here. Somebody feels trapped. Somebody's feeling unable to move forward. And I really feel like the end of the year, I feel like you're dealing with something that is not fair to you. I mean, you have the Justice card here, which can represent the sign of Libra, but I mean, I feel like this is something where, there's something that's out of balance in your love life. You've got, the Seven of Pentacles around this, the Six and the Seven of Pentacles around Justice for the end of the year. So, I feel like you've been done wrong in some way, because, this is lined up with the Seven of Wands. Like you're fighting for your relationship. You're speaking your truth. I feel like if you're doing this, you will succeed. This is all lined up with the Sun. You just had this card in the middle of the year. Again, this is positive energy, success, love, happiness. So I feel like if you are kind of fighting for a relationship at the end of the year, like you win. Basically this is saying you win. This is success. But there is a lot of thinking going on here. You have the Seven of Pentacles. This is someone who's trying to weigh in their options. So, I see the sign of Sagittarius receiving what they want here with the Six of Pentacles. This is getting what you deserve. But there is a lot of thinking. Somebody could be kind of contemplating, a committed relationship with you, or they could be contemplating marriage or an engagement with the Seven of Pentacles. And I see you getting, what you deserve at the end of the year. The Six of Pentacles. You're receiving maybe, the relationship that you want, or the commitment, or the marriage proposal. But the key to all of this is you really kind of fighting back. Fighting, perhaps this energy. Someone is afraid of moving forward. Someone is in a mental prison. We also have here, right after the Eight of Swords, I pulled the Ten of Swords. So, this is someone that is down. This is someone that has been hurt, and it could definitely be you as well. You could be feeling betrayed by someone. But the Ten of Swords is the message that it's safe to move on. Right beside the Ten of Swords, you have the Sun. So, again, if there is painful energy at the end of the year, or someone is afraid of moving forward, you feel stuck in a relationship, the key to all of this is you fighting back, really confronting the issue. You have the Sun here. There will be success. There's positive energy. You have this next to the Six of Wands, which is victory. So this is you getting past any obstacles that are blocking you. Again, really speak up for yourself here. Okay, let's get a few more. Let's see what else comes up for you. you have the Ten of Wands, the Five of Pentacles, and the Eight of Pentacles. So, I mean, you've got, let's see here. I just put an 8 over an 8. To me, the 8s mean that something profound has to change. And this could all go back to the beginning of the year, the beginning of 2020, where you had the Death card. Again, with the 8s, this means that something has to change. Something has to be restructured. Your relationship can't continue as is, or it's not going to work. I feel like somebody has to change. Like if somebody's refusing to compromise, well, then nothing's going to happen. You're going to stay kind of stuck here in this painful place. There's a need to restructure your relationship, your marriage, the way that you're looking at your love life. That is what the 8s represent to me. There is a lot of heaviness here at the end of the year, the Ten of Wands. There's a heavy burden. Someone is feeling abandoned, lonely. There's a need to work on this. There's a need to work on this together. I see you fighting back at the end of the year with the Seven of Wands. And the fact that you have the Sun lined up with this, and with the Justice card, which means that something unfair is happening, but this is all working out in your favor. So just kind of looking at this spread, I also have the other cards that I pulled for the beginning and the middle of the year. I feel like for the sign of Sagittarius, I feel like you have to be careful where you are at the beginning of the year. Because if you go back and watch, and I hope that you do, I mean, you started off with the Death card. So 2020 wants to offer you a huge change, a huge transformation in your love life. I think in the middle of the year, you had the Empress and the Lovers. Yeah, you had the Empress and the Lovers, which is huge. Again, for some of you, if you're single, the general reading, so it's hard to say what's going on in your love life. You could be meeting the one in the middle of the year. Or your existing relationship could really become something solid. Perhaps this person is really making a commitment to you. But there is a need at the beginning of the year to really have clarity. I mean, you had the Hermit, which is searching for the truth. But I also know that, yeah, here it is. You had the Ace of Swords, which is truth and clarity. Looking at things from a different perspective. Because you also had, it wasn't all pretty. You also had the Five of Swords. Just going to show you here. The Five of Swords and the Devil at the beginning of the year. So I feel like whatever you're doing at the beginning of 2020, whatever you're doing in those first few months, that's going to determine where you end up here. Like if you're going to end up in this place, of a mental, emotional prison, you can work through this at the beginning of the year by not making unwise decisions, by refusing to go into this place of negativity, a dark place. Because I still see some of that here with the Ten of Wands, a heavy burden. But I feel like for most of you, there is a lot of success. This is a repeat card, positive energy for the year 2020. You have a card of marriage. There's been quite a few in the 3 spreads. So I feel like for some of you, you could be kind of getting married this year, or maybe meeting the person you're going to spend the rest of your life with. But remember, the beginning of the year is going to be really, really important. Okay, Sagittarius, this has been your love reading for 2020. I hope this helps you, and I'll speak to you again soon.